Hi, it's June of 2020. I've been waiting a very long time for this deck, the Raincoast Oracle. I believe it was a year ago or almost a year ago when I saw Christoph James start posting images for his Raincoast Tarot, and at the same time was posting images from this deck. Now, at the time, as much as I like the detailed imagery in the Raincoast Tarot, I was more partial to the more abstract, almost post-impressionist imagery that ended up becoming the Raincoast Oracle. And he was posting images online in places like the Hermit's Cave Facebook page. And I recall certain images seemed like they were incongruous. They didn't quite go with other images. There seemed to be a propensity towards certain quality images in his paintings. And then there were others that didn't seem like they quite fit in. Now, I remember at the time he posted one that I particularly liked, but I said, oh, it doesn't really feel like it goes with the others, but that would make a great card back design. You can check me out if you scroll back in Simon's Facebook page far enough. You'll see that I'm the one that suggested that he use this as the card back. Whether I suggested it or not, I'm glad that he did. It's a beautiful card back. It's an abstract design, it's symmetrical, it's perfect for a card back, and the color is delicious. I think also at the time I said these are great paintings, and I'm very much into intuitive deck. This is an oracle deck. I'm very much into intuitive image reading and not so much for labels. So I did kind of hope that he would release this either as an unlabeled oracle deck or just an art card deck. He did end up putting labels or text on them from, well, it says colorful paintings paired with Zen wisdom. So I'm not sure where he got the text, whether these are things that he wrote in a journal and came up with on his own, or whether he culled these from traditional Zen wisdom. It's an 84 card divination deck by Christoph James. It comes in a great little tin, and so this is the first edition. That's the back of the tin. First edition limited to a maximum of 150 decks. That's the front of the tin. And the images and colors are quite wonderful. I won't read you the text. Leave a little something for you to discover if you order the deck. I think this image might have been used, or this might be a detail of an image used in the Raincoast Tarot. These are beautiful colors. Here's one that he posted that as beautiful as the art is, I wouldn't have put this in the deck. There's a few cards that are photographic, and I don't feel like they quite fit. But these cards are unnumbered, so I mean, I suppose I could just, if I didn't feel like they belonged, I could pull those cards out and set them aside. This cardstock is really nice and slick. I think Now, I'm not sure where he had these done, but they do feel very much like the slick S30 cardstock that Make Playing Cards uses that I love. It's not glossy, but there's a little bit of a sheen. They have a substantial weight, but they're not overly thick or too thin, just right. They're very evocative. And many of the images are on the dark side, too. Some of them sort of remind me of Gorky. Some of them remind me of Marc Chagall. Some of them remind me of Paul Klee, Odilon Redon. Various well-known, famous artists. This one reminds me of Miro. Beautiful, bright, intense colors. This seems Paul Klee to me. Maybe a little Picasso. Some of them have a Russian feel to me. Here's another one that I wouldn't have put in just because of the photographic nature of the card. Also see Egon Schiele in some of them. Not that one, but I love the suggestion of a horse or possibly a dog in this one. And I like the minimal quality in some of the designs. Oh. So certain names kind of pop to mind. Kupka, Jolensky. There's a whole kind of art history lesson in this deck, I think, of influences. This one seems very Chagall to me. This one I wouldn't have put in. It's not photographic, but it's a very realistic rendering that doesn't feel like it quite matches the more abstract nature of many of the images. I think there's a couple of these photographic skull ones. As strong as the imagery is, I wouldn't have put those in just because of the photographs. But hey, this is, my taste, not his. These are his choices. Now, and if I treat this, or if one treats this just as an art deck, then they absolutely all belong. If one goes simply by the text, they all belong. I think you may pick up on a sort of a similarity in style with a lot of the cards. I think this one has a little photographic thing going on in there. There's a lot of drama in this deck. Very dramatic, very emotional imagery. Another photograph. It's funny, a lot of these make me think of World War II and some of the influences in art surrounding times of war. I'm not sure why that is. Maybe it's the, oh, I think there's some photographic stuff, some models or something in there. Clay models. Well, here's one with music in it, which is nice. Picasso's blue period, or his red, or a red period. I love that card. This is like a little art gallery in a tin, which is really nice. I think I view a lot of decks that way. If I don't find them usable, then I like them for the art, and it's like, you know, a portable art gallery that you can take with you and sit in front of the paintings and contemplate. And art, if it's not, well, even if it's photographic, but if it's not particularly photographic, I think you can just sort of passively meditate in front of and pick up on certain things, intuit certain things. You can still get that from photographs, but I tend to get it more from light and color and shadows and shapes. Here, you know, we have attitudes that we can pick up on. I also see like Modigliani, stuff like, you know, people like that in some of these images. Gauguin. These are beautiful cards and a beautiful deck. My copy was delayed a very long time. I feel like I'm a little late to the party, but I wasn't. I put my order in really early, but there was a mix-up in delivery and my original order got shipped somewhere else accidentally. And I had I think I ordered it in, I want to say late March, and now we're, you know, early to mid-June, and I just got it this past week. There's a little certificate card. Very sweetly, he also included, as a little bonus, to me in the deck was a pocket-sized version of the Major Arcana from the Raincoast Tarot. I don't know if he's been following my recent particular interest in Majors only decks, but I do already have this in full size in the tins, both the black and white edition, which was limited to I think about 20 copies, or maybe a few more, and the color version. I have them both, but I didn't have the mini one. And I hope he didn't cannibalize the deck just for me. Hopefully he had, because I don't think he issues this as a Majors only deck, but I think that's a great idea. And the images in the Raincoast Tarot are very detailed, and it's full of symbolism. And I almost find it a little bit overwhelming. There's so much stuff in it. So I'm kind of hoping, I mean, I kind of put those off on my collectible shelf and not really use them very much, but I'm hoping that just by addressing the Majors only in these mini cards, it might get me to be able to absorb more of the meaning and pick up on the regular 78 card decks. But this is a good starting place, I think. So thank you, Christoph, for that extra little bonus. You didn't have to do it, but it was really nice of you. And so yeah, that's the Raincoast Oracle from Christoph James.